All right.
All right, guys. Tonight, did I just cut you off, Sam? Sorry.
No, it's fine. You go.
Tonight we have, for those of you who don't know her, we have Samantha Smith talking. Hold on. Somebody just popped on. I'm just making sure everybody's muted so it doesn't cut us out. We have Samantha Smith doing a team call for us, and I am really excited about this team call because it's actually her first team call she's ever hosted. And I reached out to Sam and asked her to do it, and she reluctantly told me yes, probably because she felt like she had to. But Samantha is an Emerald coach under me. She will definitely be a Star Diamond coach, some type of star. She'll be more than just one star in 2017. And I asked Sam to host a team call for you guys because she, first of all, reminds me a lot of me in this business, which I think is pretty cool. But she just has like such a positive mindset all the time. She is, I can tell you, one of my coaches who never complains. I honestly don't know that I've ever heard her complain or be negative about anything in this business. And it's not because she hasn't had frustrating times or hard times, because trust me, she's had those. She just is really, really good at maintaining that positive mindset and pushing through and knowing that there's obstacles and that you got to get through them. And she's also been through some things in life, guys, that a lot of us would have a really hard time even going through. She's not had an easy life, and she still has struggles today, but she still gets up every day, has that positive mindset, and pushes through. So she is just a really big inspiration to me, a good friend of mine. And I just wanted her to come on and give you guys just a piece of her mind so you guys can be inspired by her too. So go ahead, Sam. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. So I just kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I've had, obviously, everyone has them, those troubled relationships where you're in this rut and you don't get out of it very well. And then you notice yourself being nasty. You notice yourself, you're not yourself anymore. You're not happy. You're not, having fun. I went through that for probably about 3 years. It wasn't always bad. There was 5 years. There was a couple good years here and there. And then I realized, I'm like, I don't have like any friends right now because I'm mean to all my friends. I'm lucky they still love me, because if I was them, I would have left. Like I was really mean to everybody. But I got out of that relationship. Some things happened in my life. My mom passed away. I got through all of that. I went and lived with my dad. I saw him struggle. I was like, I can't do this with my dad because he's going through his own stuff. So I need to get away, and I needed to come back to Florida with my friends. So I actually moved to Orlando with one of the girls that I was the meanest to when I was with my boyfriend. I was absolutely horrible to her. Had to do with drugs. I mean, that's just what it was. It was drugs. I didn't do them. Everyone else did. And I was real mean to people because I just didn't understand it. But that was me. I didn't get it yet. So I moved to Orlando with her. I met my husband. I've known him a little bit here and there. I've seen him like at the bar, and his ex-wife and I have a lot of the same friends. So I've seen him a couple times, and his dad's like, why don't you take her out on a date? And he's like, oh, Sam? And I'm like, you want to go on a date with me? Like, you're Jason. I'm Sam. We don't date. That's weird. Now we're married. One of our biggest jokes is, oh, I just kissed Jason, or oh, I just kissed Sam. Weird. And now he's my best friend, and he knows me better than I know myself. He got me out of my rut. He taught me how to be happy again. And then I started seeing myself getting back into my old ways where I would just get negative and I would be very sad. And it just happened. I don't know why they called it something with your cycle is what it was. It was the week before and the week of, honestly. And I remember being at work and I cried and I said, I can't go home to my husband. I haven't seen him all day. I'm going to be so mean to him. And they're like, well, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't know. My job's to answer the phone, and I want to answer the phone and say, why are you calling? Well, they're calling because they need a doctor's appointment, and that's who they're supposed to call, me. Like, that's my job. But I just wasn't happy, and I started getting nasty again. Steph started doing my hair I would say probably around that time. And I talked to her a little bit here and there about, Beachbody and everything. And I don't know who it was that actually, I can't remember if it was last year that she messaged me or if I messaged her. But either way, we got together and I joined one of our challenge groups, and I realized that I was a lot happier when I was active. I was in a better mood. I wanted everyone else to be happier too. Then I wasn't like all mean to everyone. I was just, everyone, my sister would say, oh, I had such a bad day. I'm like, why don't you look at it like, yeah, my day sucked, but hey, at least I'm doing this instead. And I started teaching her that, and she's doing really well. And she just got this new job, and today she went to the doctor's, and she actually, they didn't make her appointment like they were supposed to on Friday. So she went in, and they told her, they're like, oh, you don't have an appointment scheduled. And she's like, what? And she started instantly, obviously, getting upset. And I'm like, well, Caitlin, what happened? She goes, well, I didn't get too mad to them. I figured it's really not that big of a deal if that's the worst thing that happens today. And I like almost cried. I'm like, you just really had that mindset. Like, that's different. That's not you. Normally it would have been, it's everyone's fault and everyone needs to die, is how like big it would have been. But she was just like, oh, it is what it is. I'll just reschedule it for next week. And I'm like, damn, sister, good job. Like, I was so proud of her because we've had those conversations. It's your mindset. It's how you look at things. Yeah, bad things happen to people all the time. They happen to me, they happen to you, they happen to the person down the road. I want to say it was Anna that said just smile at people and in her last call. And that's true. Like, you don't know what the person down the road or the person you're checking in at their doctor's appointment or the person you're walking by, you don't know what they're going through. Just smile at them, because there's nothing that's going to hurt with a smile, and you just may brighten up their day. Let me see. Things that you should quit right now. It was funny. I messaged Stephanie the other day. I'm like, I saw this on someone's Facebook, and that is part of my call. Trying to please everyone. I definitely am a people pleaser. Stephanie just told me this before everyone got on, to stop trying to please everyone. I'm like, oh, that's actually number one. I'm working on that. I do always want everyone to be happy, and I work my butt off for everyone to be happy, whether it's my husband, my sister, my dad, like anyone, my baby. Like, I do whatever I can to make everyone happy. And then I'm like, all right, I'll fit this in when I can. I'll fit that in when I can. But as long as everyone's happy, because if everyone's happy, then it's just easier for me to be happy, because that's just how it is. I'm learning I can't do that. You have to work on yourself. The best ways to work on yourself is personal development. I'm not good with reading books, because by the time I get home, and I used to love reading, by the time I get home from my crazy day, I'm exhausted. I start to read, I fall asleep. It just doesn't even happen. So what I do is I listen to team calls and things like that from YouTube on my way to work, on my way home from work. If I have no patients in the afternoon, like on a Wednesday, sometimes I'm in the office by myself, I'll just have them playing all day. And that's what I do, is just listen to them while I do my work. And you just have to care. You really do. You have to care about yourself, number one, because if you're not happy, and if you're not working towards making yourself happy, then the people around you aren't going to be happy. And that's just the truth. That's the true facts. Fearing change. You cannot be afraid of change. Welcome it. You can just be like, oh, tomorrow's another day. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Things change. People come into your life. People leave your life. No matter what it is, you will get through it. You may think it's the hardest thing in the world and you just should die. Or you will get through it. You have people to talk to. You have to just, don't be afraid of change. It'll be fine. Sorry, everyone's home. The dog hears them. Don't be afraid of change. Hold on a second. I had to open the door for him. I had to put sheets over the window so the baby didn't see me through. But you just can't fear it. You have to welcome it. You know, it could be anything. It could be a new person that you're working with. And they could be just a mean person, or they could be a happy person. Feed from them. Be happy with them. Teach them to be happy. At this job that I'm at now, I've been there about a year, and I actually had someone one day tell me, I love when you're here. And I'm not normally in Brooksville. I love when you're here. You always put a smile on my face because you're always so happy. And I'm like, girl, if you would have known me like 2 years ago. And it's really funny because I was mean. And I look at that, I'm like, dang, I was mean. And I almost made a girl at my old job quit her job because I said, you don't know that yet? And she was like, she went home and told her husband. And then when her and I became really good friends and I was better, I'm like, I was mean to you. And I almost cried. I'm like, I'm so sorry, because you don't want to be mean. And then now I have this girl that I used to work with at my old job working with me, and they're like, yeah, she was pretty mean, but now I'm not. I'm in a better place, and it's how you treat people. It's how people treat you, and you just have to show them that, you know, you're worth it, they're worth it, and they should really help themselves. Putting yourself down. The sooner that you start seeing yourself in a more positive way, the sooner that other people will. If you know you're doing well, post about it, comment about it, tell your family, post pictures. Everyone likes to see happy pictures of you. There's not one person that I'm not scrolling through Facebook, I'm like, oh, that girl's so happy, she is so annoying. No, I'm like, she's so happy, I'm gonna like that, I'm gonna love that one. She's just so cool. And sometimes you can click the follow thing, so every time you get on Facebook, all their happy stuff is up there on top, because you know there's enough negative in the bottom part of Facebook that you're gonna eventually see. You might as well see that good stuff first. Overthinking. Don't overthink everything. You just have to, like I said, just go with the flow. Oops. Sorry. Just go with the flow. Let it go. Stop overthinking things, whether it's something that's going on at work, something in your home life, something with Beachbody. Don't overthink it. It will get better. As long as you keep telling yourself it will get better, that's, like I said, it's your mindset. Tell yourself, I'm going to do this instead, and we'll try that. And most of the time, the more you try different ways, the better things come out, and the happier you are, the more positive influence that are in your life, and the further you go. And that's just what happens when you're happy and you're positive. There's a quote that I really, really like, and I posted it a few different times, like in one of my challenge groups or in one of like the little groups we have together right now. Your vibe attracts your tribe. If you're constantly posting negative stuff on Facebook, you're going to get negative feedback. That's just what's going to happen. You're going to get negative feedback. And those are going to be the people who are attracted to you. You don't want that. You want happy people. You want positive people. You want people who think the world of the world. You want people who are go-getters to be paying attention to you. You want people who care, that pay attention to you. You don't want the scrolling through like, oh, me and my husband were having an awful day. Anything. Am I good, guys? It's saying I'm unstable. Am I back? Okay, thank you. There's just, it's what you post, and it's the people that you attract. You're not gonna put things up bad. No connection.
Yeah,
They have no connection.
We're losing you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, hang on. I'm sitting right on top of my router. I don't know what's going on. Are we good?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Good. All right. So yeah, with your energy, you have to with your energy, you have to have good energy. You have to be putting it out there. You have to just post, you know, I did this today, it was awesome, it was great, or I have this coming up. And you just have to put it out there that you're excited about things, you're not down about anything, something awful is going on in your life, post about it, that's fine. But then at the end, make sure you say, but I did this to fix it. Or I plan on doing this tomorrow and I'm hoping my day gets better. I'm pretty sure it will because I'm looking at it in a different way. There's always a way to change your mindset on something awful going on in your life to make it something positive. Got lots of papers here. Just want to make sure I'm going over everything. Don't miss it. I talk fast because I get so nervous. So personal development, I don't know what you guys use, but like I was talking before, I just listen to like a lot of team calls on YouTube, or I actually really like going through Pinterest, and I just type in Monday happy quotes or Wednesday motivational, things. And so much stuff comes up, and you can be in a poopy mood, and you can just go on there and be like, I need something to cheer me up. Just a quick quote, something to make me smile, and type it in, and it's legit there for you. Pinterest has it all. Google has it all. If you ever need anything to lift you up, type it in, whatever you're feeling. It's a Thursday, something crazy. There's something happy on Thursday, and something guaranteed will pop up for you to read about or watch, and you'll laugh, and you'll notice my mood's changed. I'm gonna go about the rest of my day like this now. I almost set that on fire. I have a candle going in here. Let's see. I don't know. Haven't been doing this very long. Talk real fast. Anyone have anything? Anything that they do to keep a positive mindset, to keep themselves happy?
I have something I want to ask. Okay, so I can tell you guys, since Sam is my coach, I have not held Sam's hand through this business. She comes to me when she needs me. Obviously, she knows I'm always here. We're close. We can talk. We text, whatnot. But I have not, taken the business and put it on a silver platter for her and said, hey, this is exactly what you need to do every day, which you can't do for your downline. Obviously I can't tell, none of us can tell our downline exactly what to do every single day. To an extent, you kind of have to figure it out for yourself, and you got to kind of just figure out what clicks for you, and you got to figure out how you're going to find your motivation and how you're going to push through when things get hard. I feel like a lot of coaches get to a point where it's like, oh wait, I have to kind of do this on my own. And you're not on your own. You still have a support system. Your upline is always there for you, but to an extent, you do have to figure it out on your own. And I feel like a lot of coaches, when they get to that point, they just kind of stop, or they just get paralyzed. And it's almost like, I don't know what to do next, so I'm just not going to do anything. And then, you start kind of backpedaling and not knowing what to do. And I see that happen with a lot of coaches. And I feel like that's where a lot of coaches kind of fall off, or they don't ever move forward. So my question for you, Samantha, what kind of tips could you give them to not do that? If they get to that point in their business where they feel that and they start kind of feeling paralyzed or stagnant, what can they do to get through that? What are some of the things that you've done to kind of find your independence in the business? And what do you do when those tough times come? How do you get through them?
Honestly, thanks to you, I have a very good partner. Leslie and I work together, talk together every day. Legit, if we're both home or even when I'm at work, we are talking all day, every day, whether it's about our crazy little kids, something that we're like, we need to get this out there. Let's talk about it together. And then we put it on Facebook, and we'll even, add each other to our topics and stuff like that. And we'll post with each other. And it's nice to have that support system, but you just have to know that if you want it bad, like I want it bad, then you will push for it, and you will find the motivation as long as you want it that bad. You have to want something for yourself and know that you're worthy. Know that you can do it. There are people that make this obviously a full-time thing. Stephanie, you're one of them. I'm not sure where anyone else is at, but that's what I'm working towards. And that's my plans for my 2017 year is I will be home. I will be full-time, because I don't want to have to depend on someone else. We were depending on someone for babysitting my son. And if we got lucky, because it was my sister this last few months. Very lucky when it came to that, because she was staying with us, she was watching him. Then there's days where she started working and my grandma had to watch him. And my grandma's real old and she can't handle him. And I remember sitting in my break room one day crying, because I'm like, I need to be home with my baby. That motivated me. That got me going. And I'm like, I got to get out of my rut. Leslie, let's figure something out. Let's get a challenge group going. Let's do an event. We need to do something. Let's get going. We got this. We can do it. Let's do it. Let's go. And it's nice. And like you said, Stephanie, I can always go to you whenever I have a question. And I do. If I'm like, oh, I just need to know something. Or if I post something and I get a negative feedback. Yeah, I go to Stephanie right away and I'm like, did you see that? That was a little off. Like, that was a little rough. I had someone one time post when I said, oh, who wants to know about coaching? I had one of those coach posts, you know, because I always say how great it is because I have gotten a lot of good friends from it. And I've only been doing it for a year, but even if it only ended at that, like I've been doing Beachbody for a year and it didn't work out for me, but I got some really bomb-ass friends out of it. That makes me happy because I would have never known Leslie. Stephanie and I have never, not that we would have never got as close, but now we have something huge and like common and like that we can talk about all the time that, yeah, Stephanie and I have gotten a lot closer and I have good friends out of this. I've met Anna and she's super cool. I like her a lot. Like I've met some good people. I really have. And everyone's so uplifting. Everyone cares about you. They legit do. And you don't find that at like your regular 9-to-5 job. You just don't. I don't care. You may find a select few, but you also find those people who want to jump you and want to get above you. And you don't find that here. You find teammates, you find people who care, people who want to see you succeed. And like, say I had a bad week and Leslie had an awesome week, I would be like, oh, I'd be like, heck yeah, good job, girl. Like, I'm so proud of you. But that's how it is with this business. It's not everyone for themselves. It's you care about people. And that's when you succeed, is when you care about people. When you want to be that positive light in someone's life. I was shocked when I started getting messages for people who aren't on my team, aren't under me or anything, but they're like, you're really motivating. I really like watching or reading your posts and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, thanks. People you would never think that read your stuff. They don't like it. They don't comment. But all of a sudden you get like a private message and it makes you feel so good. And those are the things that keep you motivated. That's what keeps you going, because seeing those things and knowing that even if someone's not liking or commenting, you're definitely helping somebody because they've come to you privately and said, thank you so much for that, you know. And that's always really, really nice. And that definitely keeps me going, because I would feel awful because I'm a people pleaser if I did not, you know, shine that light on someone when they really needed it in that rough day.
I'm so glad you touched on the success partners thing, because you guys probably saw, I actually put up a post the other day talking about how our team, there's like thousands of us on our team. Specifically in our team page, there's hundreds of people. I feel like it kind of gets to a point where you can't always completely relate to your upline. And I get that because I've gone through the motions. I've been the beginning coach. I've been in the middle, and then I've been, you know, the upline with a big downline. And I know sometimes you can't like totally team up one-on-one with your upline, you know, because if they have hundreds of coaches they're trying to talk to, you know, and you only have, you know, a couple coaches under you, you're in different spots. So if you're kind of feeling like you don't really have that person to talk to like one-on-one every day, like Samantha was talking about, don't be afraid to kind of like put yourself out there and expand your wings and, you know, go find somebody. Like I said, there's hundreds of coaches in Team Desire to Inspire, hundreds of working coaches, people who are actually doing the business. Other than that, there's tons of people out there that aren't even a part of our team that you would maybe find and relate to. If you're feeling kind of like stuck, or you're kind of feeling like you're in a rut, that would be a really good time to find somebody that has the same goals as you and, you know, has some motivation to kind of pick you up and help you get through those times. I do that. I still have those moments where I get in a rut and I reach out to my people. I used to like hate the term success partner, and I kind of still do, because to me, I don't know, when I hear the term success partner, I think like so business official. Like we have to wake up every day with our notepads and our pens and get on a conference call and tell each other what we're doing. And I hate that. Like I don't work like that in the business. That's just not my personality. Some people do like that. I don't like that. I don't like feeling like I have to be like constrained to like a certain strict thing. So I look at a success partner more as like a friend, like a really good friend in the business who is kind of at the same point as you, kind of has the same goals. You know, you guys can like Sam was saying, you know, if one of you are having a bad week, you can even come to that person and be like, listen, like I had a really crappy week. And that person can be like, listen, don't worry about it. You know, we're going to get through it. This is what we're going to do. And it helps because you guys can kind of like balance each other out, and you don't have to be perfect and pretend like every day is wonderful. But, you know that if you are in that negative mindset, you have that person there to give you some positive input. So if you guys do feel like you just kind of want somebody to like team up with and just kind of like run challenge groups with, I prefer to run challenge groups with another coach. It's just my personal preference. And actually multiple coaches sometimes. I like more of the community atmosphere. I feel like the challengers like to see that community amongst coaches. I feel like all coaches, whether new or old, have good things to offer in a challenge group. So I definitely recommend, if you're feeling kind of stagnant or stuck, find a coach to team up with to run challenge groups, okay? Get out of your uplines group. If you're feeling stagnant, like you need to move forward in your business, get out of your uplines challenge group, unless you're running it with them. Like you guys are both running it together, that's different. But if you're just in there putting your people in there, get out of that group. Find a coach to run a group with you and go out there and do it on your own. Don't be afraid, okay? That's another awesome thing about having a success partner or a friend in the business. I feel like it kind of helps you to like kind of do some of that scary stuff, because you can be like, all right, so I'm going to put this like crazy post up, you know, or I really want to run a challenge group, but I'm scared. And then that person can kind of like give you some courage. So if you feel like you want that, reach out to us, talk to us on this call, or, you know, in the team page, post about it in the team page, and we will get you teamed up with somebody. But the worst thing you could do is sit there in a funk and not try to get out of it. That's the worst thing you can do, because guys, it's not going to just fix itself. Okay. You might get out of your funk eventually, but at that point, your business is going to be lacking, and then you're going to be discouraged and you're going to be disappointed in yourself. So if you feel like you're in that spot, you need to start working right now to try to get out of it. Reach out to somebody, do whatever you got to do. That's what we're here for. Okay. Jazz said, that's what I'm finally doing. You got teamed up with somebody?
No, I finally made my own like challenge group, like where I actually I'm like people are actually getting like challenge packs, and we're like doing it together instead of like where I'm like doing it with Jenna. Like I usually always have like put everybody in a group with Jenna. I think just because I was scared, but like I just recently had like a really bad breakup, and I don't know why, but it just like made this whole big thing happen to me, and I was just like, I'm just like doing all this, like I don't even care. And I just made the post, even though like I was like, no one's probably even gonna comment on it, like because no one usually ever does. Like they're usually just like cricket, and I'm just like, but this time it was like I had 2 friends message me, and I was like, oh my god, this is so exciting, like finally have a thing going on. I think it's just because like New Year's and everything, everybody's like finally like gonna commit finally. Like
you know what it probably is also? It's probably that, just like you said, you kind of let go of that fear, because you were like, screw it, I don't care at this point. Like things can't get that much worse. You know, it is what it is. And people can sense that in your posts. They can sense when you're like, listen, I'm going to put it out there for you and you can take it or not. Like, I don't need you, you know, like I'm going to do this with or without you. And they can sense that like confidence and that like, you know, this works and you can either get on the bandwagon or you can't, you know, whatever you want to do. But when we're like so hesitant to like post about our challenge groups or talk about Beachbody, people sense that too. And they're like, wait a second, let me watch this for a little while. So let that be a lesson to you, just letting go of that fear and like not worrying about it. That's the best way you could do it.
I've been watching a lot of calls, like especially like the surge calls and stuff, like all throughout the week, and like those are like for me like the most motivational calls, because like they all get on there and they're like, yo, what's up, boss babes, and like everybody's like so official, and then I feel so official, like I'm like, yeah, I can do this. Like it's just, I don't know, they're so motivational.
And the funny thing is, like, I know all these girls. Like, I've been coaching with all these girls through the journey. I'm like in a page with all of them, and they're all just like us. Like, they really are not anything like crazy special. Like, they're just people who are like, listen, I'm going to make shit happen in this business, and I'm going to freaking do it. And that's a really awesome thing. I'm planning on talking about this on the next call too. But the new year is like a clean slate for everybody. And I know you guys have heard this before, but we all basically start from the same point. And as far as like elite and premier, you guys probably don't have like a ton of knowledge on those yet. But elite and premier, like, there's different things that go into it, but it's not like all of your coaches that have ever signed up with you help you get to that point. The way they do it is actually like, it's only like your newer coaches that have signed up within the last year or two. And I actually like that they do it that way, because that keeps like all the top coaches and stuff who already have a huge team. It makes it to where everybody has to start at the same point at the new year, and they have to work for it. So kind of let that sink in a little bit. It's not like all these people just kind of, like have it handed to them because they have a great team. They still have to freaking bust their butts for the year to hit elite or premier, because I'm telling you right now, it's not easy. And they have to do it every year. And I've been sitting in the group watching like top coaches, like names that you guys probably see and you're like, oh, like that is like a top coach, struggle to hit elite because they have to redo it every single year. So I really can't stress enough for you guys to like kind of like let that click and realize like, okay, I could be just as good as any of these other coaches. And if I start like now, that's the key. You have to start now, and you have to keep that consistency. Like, you can't have the months or the weeks where you fall off. That's one thing that the top coaches don't do. They have those hard times, but they still do their business during those hard times. And I feel like that's one of the most difficult things to do as a coach. But you have to be able to get to a point where you say, okay, I'm going to start right now, and I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, even when it's hard. And I do feel like the more you do that, the easier it gets. So really think about like what your goals are, what you guys want. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be a top coach, that's fine. Just think about what you want to be though. Do you want to be elite? Because you can all be elite. Like, every single one of you. All it requires is 5 stars and then meeting the requirements for it. But the trick is, you have to realize that you want to be elite, and you have to go after it, and you have to figure out what it takes now so you can start working towards that. And that's where I made the mistake because I was like, I'm like a mom who coaches, like I'm not really going for the top coach thing. And I put elite so far out of my head until I realized, like, wait a second, I could totally be an elite coach. Like, I'm doing what an elite coach does. And by the time I realized, like, how to hit elite, it was too far into the year. You have to start now. So definitely make note of that and decide what you guys want in your business for this year and start working towards what you want now. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to say? Go, Leslie. Here, I'll unmute you.
Okay, I have a question about the new all access Study on Demand. How are you promoting that? Like, are you just individually messaging like potentials, or are you like gonna blatantly put it on Facebook? 'Cause I don't want to be like,
No. What I started doing is I already started going through all of my current challengers and my potential challengers and my help vet people. I'm really pushing it with my help vet group. And what I've done is I've just messaged them and been like, hey, listen, I know we talked about the 21-day fixed challenge pack or whatever, but I wanted to put this out there for you. They just released this, like they just told us about it, and it's going to start on the 28th. It's the 28th, right?
26th. Or is it the 28th? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, but I wanted to let you know about it. And you get this, this, and this. You get every single program, and then I break it down for them. So it's Beachbody On Demand, which is also the club membership, but they're changing it. It didn't used to be that all the programs were on there, and now they're putting all the programs on there. And then I also explained to them that you also get the 10% discount on products with the club membership. And I tell them, so I also break it down for them in this aspect, though. I feel like this is important. I say to them, it's really cool because you can kind of jump from program to program for the year. And I said, but now you still need to pick a program and stick to it. So what you could do is you could like start with a program, do that for at least a month. Like you want to make sure you're doing at least a program like for a whole month, and then you could go to the next one. And so I tell them like, you know, you could potentially do like 12 programs in the year. Or you can do a hybrid thing where you do 2 programs at once and you mix them together. But the reason I mention that is because I feel like you don't want to sign people and have them like going on there and just going whatever all over the place and not kind of having like a system in place. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's kind of setting them up for failure. But so I tell them that, and then I give them the price, and I say, totally up to you. You can decide, you know, if you still want to stick with what we talked about, that's fine. But I wanted to make sure I told you about this. So that's what I'm doing for right now in private messages. And I will probably put up a post on probably like the 27th talking about it. Like in general, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about that with the health bet again. And then kind of break it down for everybody. And that's another thing. If you guys haven't started promoting for the health bet yet, do it like now. Because one thing is you want everybody to see it before they get all crazy with Christmas. The other thing is they need to have their product by January 9th. So they need to have Shakeology like in their hands by January 9th. So you need to have them ordered like the very beginning of January. And with the health bet, guys, I'm telling you, when I did it personally, like for me, I got the best results I've had in years because the accountability. And I do my workouts all the time, but something about like just staying on track, making sure I was drinking my Shakeology every day, you know, doing my workout every day. And then it made me stay on track with my eating too. So it's like, I feel like the health bet was so easy for us as coaches. Like, here guys, here's your ultimate accountability and we don't even have to do anything for it. Like, we're just going to sit back and watch you log on the app every day. Like, what did we even really have to do for the health bet? You know what I mean? It's like the easiest accountability in the world. And people want to win free money. Like, why would you not? So try your hardest to get people set up with the health bet. And the other really awesome thing about it is it makes it super simple to pitch a challenge pack because you have to have Shakeology. Like, you got to have it to log it for the health bet. So you tell them, you know, you got to have Shakeology and you got to log your workouts, but you win free money. And it is what it is at that point, you know? So I definitely recommend promoting for the health bet group and running one. And if you guys need one to put your people in, I will have one running, but, you know, don't be afraid to run your own. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, Leslie. I'm probably going to start promoting for it, like, you know, out loud on the 27th. Because I want to kind of wait to get through Christmas.
Yeah. Because I've already individually messaged a bunch of people, but I wanted to, like, put it out there on Facebook, but I didn't want to seem like I was directly saying, like, this is $199. Like, I don't know. I just have to come up with something, like a post.
I think it's actually 190, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
$199.
I thought the promotional price was $190. Did I read that wrong?
I think so.
Well, that sucks because I've been telling everybody the wrong thing.
Well, if $9 makes them go, then
I know, whatever.
They didn't really want it.
Yeah. So the other thing I would do, though, I did this with the last health bet. I did like a regular post about it, and then I did a video where I went live and I talked about it, and I had way more interaction sorry guys, I am like losing my voice. Way more interaction and outcome with the live video.
I know, and I was thinking about doing it.
Yeah, I would definitely go live and talk about it. In your live video, I don't know that I would drop the price on that video because, like, I think I've talked to you about this before, but I feel like when you put a price out there for people, it's too easy for them to decide, like, oh, that's too much money for me. I always give prices in a message because then that way they're going to be more inclined to not be rude and message me back and tell me why it's too expensive. You know what I mean? So like if I give them a price and they decide, oh, that's too expensive, they're going to message me back and say, oh, that's too much money. And then I'm going to be able to show them the value again and reiterate why it's worth the money. Whereas when you put the money out there publicly, it makes it too easy for them to decide, oh, no, that's not worth it. And you don't have the opportunity to know that that person decided that and to show them the value again. So I would just talk about it and, you know, just touch on like, this is what they're doing. They're putting all the programs on there. You know, it's awesome. Like it's going to be just in time for the new year. It's a new thing. You'll have the programs for an entire year, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you get people that come on while you're live and they're like, how much money is it? Then at that point, obviously, you don't want to be the weirdo that's like, oh, didn't see that comment. You know what I mean? But hopefully people won't do that. They might, but just kind of go with it. But I always try to keep the price in a message if I can.
I've seen Jenna Reisinger. She went live about the on-demand, and a lot of people were asking her how much it was, and she didn't say it. I think she just privately messaged all of them, like, afterwards. Like, she was just like, all right, well, whoever commented, I'll message you, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she just kind of...
Which you could totally do, too. I've seen people do that with, like, other companies, too. And it makes you look kind of funny on the live video, but I feel like as long as you go back through and make sure you message everybody, then it's okay, because you can just... You know what I mean? Then they at least know that you weren't ignoring them. And another thing you can do is if you feel like you don't want to throw the price out there and you feel like it starts getting asked too many times, you can just wrap the video up and jump off. And then you can private message everybody.
Internet lost. Connection unstable.
But I mean, and you could even do it where you make it one of those videos that's not like a Q&A. Like, I'm not on here for you guys to ask me questions. I'm on here to give you information.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do that sometimes.
Video, not questions.
Yeah. You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, watch out for a second. All right. Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to say? No. All right. Well, I'll wrap it up. I'll let you guys get off. Sam, thank you so much for getting on here. You did such a good job. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so nervous.
You were like such a natural. I'm like waiting for you to screw up. I'm like, what the heck? She's not even messing up.
At least that sounded right.
Thank you for getting on and talking to us. And the rest of you, I hope you just kind of saw again that we all have tough times. And I think the key is to just kind of get yourself out of those ruts and push forward.
Push through it. Yep.
Yeah, just keep doing that over and over. And eventually it'll just kind of become second nature and you won't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, ladies, thank you for getting on. Sam, thank you for hosting the call. You'll be hosting one in the future. Leslie, your turn's coming up soon. Don't think I forgot about you. It's coming. So we'll be talking about that. All right, ladies, have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.